Hello and welcome. This is Access to Experts. I'm Ann DeVere, and my fabulous guest trainer is Juanita Z. So you guys, you've been hearing about it. LinkedIn, live streaming videos, social audio. And those two combinations, that combination alone is huge. But you also know that LinkedIn is the place to go for business, whether you're a professional or a business owner or a solopreneur. It's the place to go. That's where business happens. Well, how do you make it happen? That's the big question. That's what we're going to be answering for you. Not only are you going to know how to get out there, promote yourself on LinkedIn, but you're going to know how to engage, attract collaborative partners, and become an influencer on LinkedIn. So that's why I've partnered up with none other than Juanita Z, who is a LinkedIn expert that I go to. So with that, Juanita, welcome. So happy you're able to join me.
Welcome, and thank you so much for having me and for this partnership. It is absolutely fantastic. And I think, what people don't know about you is that you are absolutely phenomenal at your whole storytelling, branding, getting people on video, and really making them shine in interviews and just in general in the whole space of online and products and things like that. So super excited to be here, Anne.
Yeah, as I am. So while you're telling people about me, I think everybody should know that you have something to do with the social media events across the globe. So I'm going to ask you to tell us all about it. So
well, I set up, I was actually the founder, and I set up the social media conference for New Zealand and Australia, which is actually an international conference. And we get people from all over the world to come to the conferences, which is really cool. And I get to collaborate and meet so many amazing people. So I'm super excited about the growth in the social media space. And in this particular presentation, we really are going to be focusing on LinkedIn as a social media platform, I think.
We are, and you know what? That's what's so exciting. Most people don't think of LinkedIn as a social media platform, and it really is. And it's a search engine as well for professionals. And you're going to be diving into it, explaining a lot of it, how it works, why it works. And so that's why I want everybody to get excited. So social media conference, that's huge. That in itself says that. So if you're talking about global impact, Juanita knows how to do it. And why did we focus on LinkedIn? Well, I'll give you a little hint. A few weeks ago on Clubhouse, we actually had social media wars. Where is the money? And you guessed it, it's on LinkedIn. So now that streaming video on LinkedIn is available to most people, and if you don't have it already, it's coming around the corner, and social audio. The combination of this, a search engine, social media, well, the audio aspect of it, the video aspect of it combined, that's where the money is, and that's what you're going to learn. So let's get to it. Okay. We're going to have fun, you guys. We're going to have fun today because it is fun. Growing a business is fun. Making money is fun. Impacting lives is fun. And that's what we're here to do. Impact lives and have thriving businesses ourselves. So go for it.
You know what, Anna, I'd love because we're really going to be talking here about how to take people from expert, from expert to brand ambassador. And so before I really start, do you want to just clarify, when people are online and you see them as an expert to moving to that brand ambassador phase, like what does that actually mean for them?
Yeah, actually, it's huge. I'm so glad you brought it up before we dive into it. So everybody, now the focus of when you are online and you're making a difference, and I said, when you're making a difference, you become an influencer. Well, what does that mean? Okay, when we are experts, we go out there, we share our information, right? We share our information, our successes, our tips, resources. We have training programs. We share what to do, maybe what not to do as well, so people don't make the same mistakes we did. But that's just our expertise. So to go from expert to influencer, we need to connect with them heart to heart. Why is that important? Because when we build relationships, when we say, oh, she gets it, he gets it, then we build trust. When we build trust, we're much more likely to take somebody's advice. So as an expert, when you can share your stories, I'm going to touch on that in just a little bit. When you can share stories and how you think, how you feel, why things are important to you, people get to know, like, and trust you, right? That's very, very important. So that's when you're able to move into action. But before we move forward, I want you, everybody, to see the impact we can have. But I want to share with you the system here. I'm just going to go full screen here. We're going to be sharing with you basically the icon metrics. So the very first thing is a brand building system. That's where you go from expert to influencer to authority to icon. But right here, once you start sharing stories, go from influencer to authority. This is where the brand ambassador lives. And that's what we're going to be sharing with you today. But for you to be able to really get out there and leverage the exposure you're going to get, you need to have an online training system. So people that come to you, you're able to support them. And finally, to really get out there, you need a marketing and sales system so your business is up and running and people see it consistently. Everywhere they go, there you should be, and you should have a monetization system. And then we're going to be sharing with you the 100K perpetual funnel. So basically, what that means is that you have a system where you're going to be able to do it over and over again. That's why it's called a system. So once you decide how are you going to make that 100,000? You're going to be able to do it over and over again. And that means you need to know how to promote on social media. You need to know how to engage and stay engaged with people. And that's what Juanita is going to be sharing with you. So let's, Juanita, I'm just going to quickly share what each one of us is going to cover, right? And so here we go. And I'm going to dive in there. So, coming from me, which is going to come later, after Juanita tells you all about LinkedIn, I'm going to share with you how to leverage it, as far as video aspect of it. So I'm going to share with you how to identify your unique influencer code. What is the combination so everything about you stands out? And also I'm going to share with you the formula for how do you share your stories, why you do what you do, TEDx style. Excited? I hope you are, because that means you're going to be engaging your audience. And finally, the third thing I'm going to share with you is the 100K perpetual funnel. So you can decide for yourself what that looks like and how you're going to be engaging your audience and keeping them engaged and supporting them. And so Juanita, you guys are ready for this? She's going to be sharing with you. Juanita, I'm going to go full screen so you can tell them exactly what you're going to be sharing with them. Go for it.
Well, thank you so much, Anne. Well, I'm literally going to be taking you through a little bit about why you should be on LinkedIn, so why that platform, some statistics, and then 7 reasons or 7 ways that you can really stand out and move from expert to influencer on LinkedIn. And then if you really stay, we'll show you what we're going to be doing as the next step. So in a nutshell, because the biggest thing for me when we are doing these things is you can overload people with information, or you can give them a few things to really sit back and look at and go, think about it and take action. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be covering. And while we are here, do you want to take them through what you're going to be covering, or are you happy that you've done that?
Well, I actually did that already. I know we're so excited putting all this information for you. Well, you guys, this is something you want to stay for definitely until the end. And by the way, you want to pay special attention to everything that we're saying on how to create videos and how to promote yourself, because if you stay at the end, I'm going to tell you where and how you can actually submit your videos to be part of our magazine style TV shows, to be interviewed. We're looking for guest experts.
Wow.
So if we see you, you're sharing your content in a dynamic way and you're building your followers, and that means that you're growing your business, right? So we want to interview you. And so to take a look at this, if you are an expert in any of these categories, health and beauty, business growth and marketing, finance and investments, relationships and communications, empowerment and spirituality, we want you. We want to interview you. We want to share your content for our magazine style TV shows. So I hope you're excited, because I know I am, because my LinkedIn mentor, social media mentor, is Juanita Z. So we're bringing you the best of the best. And so let's dive into it, Juanita. Let's get to it. I'm ready. I got my pen ready, and let's go.
Thank you. And well, I think the big thing that we really want to address is why LinkedIn. Like, why would you want to do all of this and then go onto a platform like LinkedIn? Because obviously there's so many social media platforms. And I think LinkedIn has come such a long way, right? I mean, we look at LinkedIn and we think of it in the past as, something where people were looking at jobs and careers and things like that. But Microsoft bought over LinkedIn, and there's been huge changes. So LinkedIn is very much now about networking. It's about growing your business networks. But more than that, the beauty of LinkedIn is that you get the opportunity to sell yourself all the time without selling yourself. And I think that's the big thing, and with people, is they think that I have to push sell. I have to tell people this is my course and this is what I'm doing, and buy this and buy that, which tends to come through in a lot of other platforms. But with LinkedIn, you sell yourself without even doing a lot of that stuff. And we call that social selling, which you'll hear a lot about. It's just doing the things to get people to know who you are, standing out, and then people knowing, liking, and trusting you because you're doing those things that you should be doing on LinkedIn.
Yeah. If I can interrupt you a second, you said something really important. I want to make sure everybody catches this, right? So LinkedIn is a business networking platform. So that means you get to talk about your business all the time. That means you get to talk about what's important. You get to give business tips. You get to talk about what you're doing, what's coming up, what events are coming up. Whereas on other platforms, they may frown upon it because they want to be social. And so, but LinkedIn encourages that. So social selling is the key, but how do you sell without being in your face so people want
salesy.
To listen to you. And that's what Juanita actually excels at. So I'm going to write back to you. I just wanted to make sure, Juanita, nobody missed that. You want to go and share your business, right? I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Well, and you really said something interesting there, because here's the thing, and I just pulled up a few of these stats for people to actually have a look at. LinkedIn has been around, I think this year is their 20th anniversary. And so they've been around for 20 years. They're not a very fast growing platform. And that's actually a good thing, because what they have on there is quality. It's not about the quantity, it's the quality. And they have 810 million people on LinkedIn at the moment. They're all business decision makers, all of them. And of those people that are on there, 80% of them are actually decision makers. So when you are talking to somebody on LinkedIn and you having those conversations and you're putting yourself out there and you're doing the social selling, there are 80% of people that will contact you within your niche that can make a decision straight away. And that's so important.
It is. So what I got from that is, okay, if the 80% is a decision maker, that means the other 20% has access to the decision maker. They're showing up and being present for the decision maker. So one way or another, you have the ear of the decision maker 100% of the time. That is huge. That's huge.
And they way, like, it's so interesting. You talk about social selling, sometimes we try really hard to connect. We will send a connection request and try and get hold of this person. But if you're doing social selling, then you almost find that that person would connect with you, and there are ways of doing it. But we're not going to go into that in detail today. I just want to say that it is rated as one of the most trusted social media platforms of all the platforms. So people that are on there really rate it as a trusted platform.
And that's huge. But and I'm sure everybody who's been on LinkedIn has already seen that. That it is. You see people being authentic. You see people sharing. You see people connecting, saying who they are. So trust is huge when it comes to doing business. So that's awesome. Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty. And I think if you are on there and you are doing everything right, so you're putting content out, you're putting yourself out there, you're commenting, you're connecting in an authentic way, and you're not incongruent with what you're doing, people look at you and they go, oh yeah, that person, like Juanita does that consistently. That's the way she talks online. That's the way she helps people. That's the way she puts content out. It's consistent. So they're not getting a different version of me every time I go on there, or worse, just not even hearing from me. Because here's the thing. I mean, in the past, when we spoke about touch points and customer touch points and things like that, for people to really get to know you, it would have been about 5 to 7 times. In the online space, it's like 22 to 28 times that people need to see you before they click and go, aha, that's that person, that's what she's doing. But in LinkedIn, because it's a trusted network and people tend to get to know you a little bit faster because of the way that you connect, the way that you engage. So that's one of the reasons why I really, really love LinkedIn as a platform, and you can get out there quicker.
Yeah, that's so important what you just said. I want to point something out. You guys, you can see I'm very excited about this, and Juanita knows her stuff. So every time she speaks, I get excited about a different idea. But this is what I want to point out, that, we've all heard, all things being equal, people will do business with people they know, like, and trust. Well, what Juanita was just explaining, okay, you show up consistently on LinkedIn. So that people, first you have to show up so people know that you exist. That's the first step. For them to like you, they need to see you being congruent over and over again, showing up as who you are, your authentic self, sharing about what you're passionate about, your business, and why you're good at your business. You're sharing tips and resources, let's say interviews and things like that. Then they get to trust you because they get to hear what you're doing, they get to see what you're doing, and they get to try and get results with your suggestions. So know, like, and trust happens pretty effective, very effectively on LinkedIn. Is that, would you say that, Juanita?
Very, very much so. On the flip side of that, and if you're being a difficult person and a troll, you will get noticed very quickly for that too. So that kind of segues into really what I want to talk about up front, is really knowing what it is that you want to do on LinkedIn. So defining your strategic purpose. So how are you going to show up on LinkedIn? What do you want to actually use the platform for? And we talk about, brand ambassadors, we talk about influencers, we talk about experts, whether you're an author, whether you're a speaker, whether you're a trainer, whether you're a coach, it doesn't matter. What you want to do is sit down and say, why do you want to be on the platform? And how is it going to help you with your strategic purpose? Like, what is it going to do for you? And I love, and because you're going to go in later on, you're going to talk about funnels, and you're going to talk about, a little bit about creating your product and things like that. But LinkedIn is such a fantastic place to, for example, connect with the right people. So when you're connecting, it can be connecting either with your target audience, or it can be connecting with, for example, other people in your industry. Because like for me, I go on LinkedIn not only to find clients, but to learn from other people as well. Because one of my passions is learning every day. So I connect with, with people in my industry, whether that's through LinkedIn groups, whether I deliberately connect with them to engage. Collaborations are fantastic on LinkedIn. So if you can define your strategic purpose and go, okay, you know what? I do X coaching, and collaborating with someone that is not my competitor, but somebody that is that aligns to what I do is a very clever move to do. And on LinkedIn, the beauty is that you can follow somebody, you can watch what they're doing, you can read their about, you can see how they're showing up to make that decision before you even get to know them. That's the beauty of LinkedIn. But I mean, you could just be there for content and content consumption. I would hope not. I would hope that part of your strategic purpose on LinkedIn is to watch how people in your industry are showing up and putting out content, whether it's videos, whether it's posts, whether it's carousels, whether it's newsletters. So yes, LinkedIn actually has a newsletter function as well now. There's so much that you can do on LinkedIn to keep your business in one place and really make a difference. So just a few things, and that you can kind of be doing, from a strategic intent.
Yeah, no, very, very much so. So going on LinkedIn, we probably should be doing all three, as you kind of alluded to it. We want to go there first to be known, share content, to get clients, to align with the clients that we're looking for. Next, we want to find collaborative partners, so we're able to support the same client in a much bigger way. But also, it's a great place to actually learn different aspects of growing our business. So you can, with the content that's being delivered, it's so rich. It's educational, it's exciting, cutting edge. And so it's a great place to learn. You don't have to go searching all these different social media platforms, and, because it's all on LinkedIn. So grow your business, learn how to grow your business, collaborate with partners, learn how to collaborate with partners. All of it is there. I love it. I just love it.
Well, and can I flip that over a little bit? Because what you said was so important. And I'm just going to flip that and say, if you're on there from a strategic intent and you're putting content out there, it's like you're educating people about what you do, and you are showing up with your learning. I call it edutainment, right? So you educating, but you're entertaining at the same time. Video is awesome for that, like really, really awesome. But if you are out there doing that kind of content, it's such a great way for people to see you more, to show up better. And if you're not doing it, somebody else is. So my question is, why aren't you doing it? If you really want to shift from just sitting in the background, being an expert, to actually being an influencer in your field, why aren't you doing it?
No, absolutely. And see, here's the important thing here is that leverage. So if you're the one who's showing up on camera the way we are, looking professional, and you're reaching out to possible collaborative partners, instead of saying, hey, let's why don't you promote, let me promote to your members. How many people do you have? Can you send out an email for me? Instead of saying, can you give me, which is what a lot of people do, and that's not the way to go. Reaching out. So Juanita is going to share things about it. That's not where I'm going to land right now. But the thing that works, it's something I've been doing since I joined LinkedIn, reaching out to people and saying, love what you're doing, and our members or our clients could use your support. Would you be willing to give an interview? And the answer is always yes. And once you set up a time to do an interview, then you set up meetings, you get to know each other. So it's a really good way to do that. And if you put out good content, then people want to interact with you, right?
Absolutely. And you know what, there are 5 types of kinds of videos that you can actually do on LinkedIn now, that I would encourage you to take action on. Now, of course, don't go and do all 5, but certainly work out what's good for your business and work out which of those 5 you can do. So I'm just going to talk through them, and as I talk through them, I'm going to tell you to take an action on one of them today. The first video that LinkedIn has is called what we call an introduction video. And they introduced this even less than a year ago, where you could go on your own profile. So where your profile photo is, you can actually put a little 30-second video up there and introduce yourself. Tell people a little bit about who you are, your business, what you do. Then you're welcome to go to my profile and actually have a look at my one. It's a bit of a rhyme, and it wasn't intended, but it ended up that way. So it ended up being quite a bit of fun, and it'll give you a good, immediately if somebody comes to your profile, it gives them a good indication of who you are, what you're about. Don't use the video to just push sell your business. Like, really talk a little bit about you and what you do, but it's only 30 seconds. That's the action that I would love you to take from this session today, is to actually go and put a little video, a 30-second video together. So it does have to be vertical, your vertical video, like a TikTok style or Instagram style, to be put onto LinkedIn, but go and do it. It's the first place that people can actually see you and see what you're about. The other types of video that you can do on LinkedIn, so LinkedIn Lives are really amazing. They are rolling out to everyone. In the past, if we were having this session even 6 months ago, and not everybody could get LinkedIn Live. So it's definitely rolling out now to everyone. You should be able to have LinkedIn Live, and on your business pages, you can have LinkedIn Live as well. LinkedIn Live is awesome for types of videos like interviews. When you were talking earlier, Anne, and you were saying, do interviews with your collaborations and things like that, LinkedIn Lives are fantastic for that. You can also shoot educational videos. As I said, edutainment. So educational videos can be showing people, talking about something that you do, and telling people, so it depends on what kind of business you run. Like, if you are a transformational coach coming on and giving tips about transformation, educating people, having discussions, being a little bit different, like stand out a little bit. If you want to be controversial, but know what's going to come back. So educational videos are absolutely fantastic. There's one video, and that I really love, and it's called a collaborative video. And collaboration videos are where, for example, 2 or more people get together and they create a little video and splice it together. So generally on LinkedIn, you'll find collaboration videos happen over Christmas, New Year's, or, when there's an event. But something that people don't know, and this is a massive tip for you if you are on LinkedIn at the moment, is you can follow LinkedIn's content creator page, and they do this little thing, and where they put out challenges. And so those challenges is where a lot of people get together and collaborate and put videos together. For those of you that are new to video, a collaboration video might be a nice way to start until you can really learn from the expert like Anne, and to how to really put a good video together and tell your story and everything else. And that's the segue into the last one. So videos where you are sharing, telling your stories, just kind of shooting quick little videos are really, really powerful on LinkedIn. Those are the 5 types of videos. And which one is your favorite?
Oh, well, I have to say the interviews. I love the interaction. I love asking questions. As you see, I hear something, oh, I have to share. So interviews are my favorite. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, because you said interviews and it's the live videos, right? We talk about live. I mean, you can do interview style and then put it onto LinkedIn as a post, but live means that you're there and there's replays. Like people can come and watch those replays and they can keep coming to watch the replays. And that's the power in live. The beauty of the live interviews is that there is so much engagement, like so many people that come on and ask questions in the moment they want to know. And that is powerful for social selling, like really powerful if you want to do social selling.
Yeah, it really is. Now, my other favorite, it's the edutainment, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's live. The reason it's my favorite is that, well, first you're teaching, you're sharing information. And then when people come on and ask questions, it's a huge opportunity to show people how you are, because when they ask a question right away, you go into laser coaching, right? And people,
Yeah.
you know your stuff. Somebody asks a question, you solve the problem, and they ask some of the most fabulous questions. And that's a great way for you to also learn, what do your people want to learn about? So you pay attention to the questions that are coming in, and then you create a special video with one of those. And so that's also my favorite, because I'm a problem solver. I love solutions. I love seeing people faces light up. So those two would be my top two, right? Edutainment and also interviews. Like we're kind of doing a combination right here. We're doing edutainment interview, but this is really, that's kind of what we're doing. And this I love.
And you know what I love? I hope people really listen to what you said there, because you dropped a massive, massive gold nugget. And that massive gold nugget is go into comments of videos and see what your competitors, see what your target audience is asking, and go and create videos, edutainment videos around that stuff. So you gave such an amazing gold nugget there for people, because often people get stuck with video. What do I say? What do I put out there? And of course you would drop that gold nugget. You're the expert in video, and so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, we're experts at teaching our expertise, and that's what I want. I want to make sure that everybody catches what you just said, right? Whatever you are an expert at, focus on that. If you don't know what to share, what to do, what content to create, listen to what your people want. And if you don't know what questions they're asking, because maybe you haven't had a campaign, go to somebody else's LinkedIn page and that has similar content, and see what people are asking there, what questions are coming up all the time. And then that means, well, one, that becomes a collaborative partner for you. The other is you're able to answer the questions that are posted on that page. And so now you're learning content. And so I'm just loving what you just said, so it's I think one thought brings on another. Just get started, everybody. Just get started.
Well, here's the way to start. So what I did is I put 7 ways that you can show up on LinkedIn and become an influencer. And there's 7 things here that I'm going to quickly talk about that you can do. Take action on one of them. Like, just do one thing that will help you. And I'm actually going to show my whole PowerPoint so that people can actually see what I'm going to be pushing forward, because of course these are important. So the first thing is complete your profile. Like, go into LinkedIn and go and complete your LinkedIn profile. It was a very, very interesting exercise. So Anne's profile was really fantastic anyway, but there were gaps in the profile. And so what Anne and I did was work together on her profile, did some tweaking, changing, adding things, completed the profile, and she moved up to an all-star ranking. which
Actually,
is,
come on back, because I think we should talk about this, because
yeah,
that made it very, very easy. So just come on camera. There you go. That's a beautiful smiley face. Yeah. So yeah, and this is basically a case study. Now, I've been on LinkedIn for a while, but not very active. And I didn't know all the things you should know. I just did what everybody else was doing. But Juanita said, okay, let's take a look at your profile. And she said, she pointed me to 2 or 3 places, added some things, and said, now we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It was about an hour, that she just like, go here, do that. I said, okay, I just did what she told me. I went from, I'm not sure where I was, but I went to All Stars. And that made a huge difference. So Juanita, so how difficult is it? Because you made it very easy for me, because so how difficult is it for people to do that?
I want to say it's not if you just go through each thing. I think the difficulty is more coming into the about section and telling your story and really getting people to engage with you. I think that's where people get stuck. But that's the stuff, and that you do really well. And so the combination is awesome, because I can say to people, go and complete your profile, but having an about section that talks to people and tells your story and gives them a call to action is really the key in a profile. There are other pieces of a profile that are absolutely critical, but just follow through. The other thing that I do want to say, and with profiles, is they are dynamic. That means you don't fill in your profile today and go, okay, my profile is filled in. I've done everything I can. I'm just going to leave it now. And it stays like that. As you grow and change. So for example, you might win an award. For example, you might be asked to talk somewhere. That's a really big deal. For example, you might, you might pull on a massive client where you make a big change. That's stuff that should be going into your profile. That's social selling. It's social proof that you know what you're doing. And that can go in your profile either in the about section, or you can put a post up and put it into, there's an area in your profile that's called a featured section, where you can put things up that people see straight away about you. And it's social proof. So, that's the beauty of completing your profile.
And I will tell you, so if you're a little bit overwhelmed watching this, when you follow Juanita, it is easy. So I want to point that out. Just like anything else, if you know what to do, where to look, if you put the right thing in the right place, magic happens. And that's actually one of the things that Juanita is going to be sharing. We have some really cool things happening that we want to share with you. Both of us are sharing a lot of information. And yes, I will be sharing with you how to create your story. As a matter of fact, just keep watching. It's coming up shortly. So Juanita, she knows her stuff. Like I said, went from mediocre to all-star. We're all stars, right? So back over to you, Juanita.
Thank you so much. And so the other thing that you want to do, and we can go into this in a little bit more detail later on, but you really want to look at your brand collateral, so your personal branding. Don't confuse people. Put a great photo up of yourself and just keep and I don't talk about branding, I'm talking about brand collateral. So, your colors, your logos, your fonts. On LinkedIn, you can't put your fonts on there, but you take people to your website, make sure that everything is aligned so that people remember you. The more that you've got your brand collateral, the more that people remember who you are. And you know what, on LinkedIn, you want to connect with the right people. So some of the things that you can do on LinkedIn is first work out who the right people are that you want to connect with, which comes back to your strategic purpose. And once you have that, just start connecting. Connect with the people that are going to make a difference to you. If I can give you anything, again, another action, you can connect with, even if you connect with, say, 10 people a day. Not everybody is on LinkedIn all the time. Not everybody's going to accept your connection initially, especially if your profile is not filled in properly. But just start connecting with the right people. The more you can grow your network, the better for you. And then the next thing, Anne, is to, I'll just pull that up, engage in a meaningful way. So when I say engage in a meaningful way, and I'll just pop that up so that you can see that, engage in a meaningful way simply means that, you know, a lot of people come on LinkedIn and they think, okay, I'm just going to put a post up and they'll put a post up not very well either. And then they think that that post is going to get lots of engagement and likes, and it doesn't perform. If you are struggling a little bit, or you are thinking, how can I do this? Go onto other people's content and go and engage with them. So on the content, don't ever on LinkedIn put things like nice post, interesting, lovely, amazing, because they are non-value comments. You're wasting your time, number one. And number two, LinkedIn might even see you as a bot and think that you are just putting up bot comments wherever you go. So look at the post, read it, and engage. Now, here's a little trick. If you are doing that, you stand out from the crowd a lot of the time. That means the person that's posted it will want to connect with you because you've made something engaging. But there's so much more to this, Anne, and we can, I don't want to waste too much time on it because there's so many things, and, you know, we have got something that we want to offer people.
Well, we're going to be sharing more of it during, during a one-day.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I'm really keen to go through that in a little bit more detail later on. But the biggest thing here, Anne, is just, I said 7, which you've alluded to and you've said so many times here, is build your relationships, build your collaborations. They are so important for when you are building yourself as an influencer. You know, collaborations and relationships, that is what LinkedIn is all about. And create content. So if you're not creating content, the beauty of LinkedIn is you don't have to be posting every single day. In fact, I will tell you a little secret that when you are an influencer and you create one good piece of content, you will be spending so much time on that one good piece of content, engaging backwards and forwards with people. You won't have time to put massive pieces of content up all the time. So one like really good quality content trumps anything on LinkedIn. Don't try and do the quantity game. Do a quality post, quality content, and then you'll see that people will engage with it. So really make it about the people that you are you're talking about. And, you know, and I'm going to leave everybody here because this is about telling your story. And this is the stuff that you excel at, is telling your story. And the only other thing that I want to say from all of that, but choose one thing and just take massive action. Just take action. Take action. Do something.
Start.
Like, I can't stress that enough. I mean, I've given you, if I just quickly reiterate, I've given you, do the little video on your, do the little video on your post. Do that. Go and do content, comment on people's posting, go and find your partnerships. If you don't know how to do your strategic purpose, we've got something for you that you can join us, and I'll show you how to do that. But Anne, I'm going to hand over to you now. Ta-da!
Okay, thank you. Now that was awesome.
Yeah, what you've got to say.
A lot of great information was shared, and so the bottom line is LinkedIn is the place to be. Authentic relationships, authentic offers to connect and collaborate, authentic information. Everything is about authenticity. So when you're reaching out to people, when you're sharing content, it's all about you being real, being yourself. And, you know, consistency is the key. Well, how do you make sure you show up and grab people's attention? Well, it always starts with you. So I'm going to be sharing with you, you're bouncing everywhere there.
I apologize. And my lovely little camera, which is
And that's okay. Now, we're both on screen, so well, it's okay. It's okay. So maybe just do your go to your PowerPoint full screen and just leave it there while you fix the camera. There we go. There we go. Okay, so so what I'm going to share with you is how to actually become the brand ambassador that we're talking about. So this is something I shared with you earlier, the focus of everything. So if you're going to go from brand ambassador to expert to influencer to authority to icon, you need to that's branding. You need to have your own online programs, and to make sure you're consistently showing up. That's where the content comes from. But what we're focused on right now is the marketing and sales system, right? So how do you show up, go from expert to influencer, and how do you make money? So that's the focus of it right now. And that's what we're going to I'm going to share with you this. You start with yourself. You become the brand ambassador for your own products and services. You're the one who's sharing what you do, why your products are good, why your services are good. Why did you do that? So I'm going to share with you how to create a story. So you start with your own first. Next, when you start reaching out to people, you share the stories of your co-op marketing partners. Now, what does a brand ambassador do? Let's just look at what is a brand ambassador. Brand ambassador is somebody who represents a product or a service. Yes. And how do you represent products or services? You have to talk about the product or service. You have to talk about why it's good, the benefits of it. You do that through stories. So when you're sharing your own stories, you're really good at it. Hint, hint, I'm going to tell you how to create your story in just a few minutes. And also, you start telling the stories of your collaborative partners. So, for example, Juanita, if I can tell everybody how amazing you are, how impactful you are, how, your brilliance in getting me to easily shift from mediocre to all-star on LinkedIn. I think you're brilliant. I think you're the best LinkedIn marketer that I know. I can say that about you, but if you said that about yourself, how would that sound?
I think, and I think people do this all the time, is they know that if they say they're an expert, people think that they're full of it. But if somebody else says they're an expert or an influencer or a brand ambassador, then you believe them, right? So yeah, I wouldn't feel good at all saying that.
Well, here's the thing. You can say things about yourself by sharing stories about your clients, by sharing stories about your collaborative partners and how you work together, what you did together. So you can actually talk about yourself. But this is where, when you can tell your collaborative partners, what I call co-op marketing partners, when you can tell their story better than they can tell themselves, they're going to want you to tell their story all day long, right? Anytime. And that's when people will say yes. When you say, let's do a collaboration. Let's do an interview. Let me talk about who you are and what you're doing. They will say yes, and you will attract more people. Again, when you can tell somebody else's story better than they can tell themselves, they'll want you to tell it all day long. And so by you doing that, sharing your own story as well as your collaborative partners, you will build a foundation as an influencer, as a brand ambassador. And this is where the next step is you go to get your sponsors, affiliates, and joint ventures. So the money comes in. The money comes in all the time. When you talk about your products, people want to buy your products. When you share the stories with your collaborative partners, they want to collaborate. They want to introduce you to their clients. You want to introduce them to your clients. And that turns into joint venture opportunities and affiliate programs, and you get corporate sponsors, right? Okay, so I hope you're now excited to learn all about it. Yeah, you have something to say, Juanita, go for it.
And I apologize for interjecting, but I love that, because everything you said there is social selling. Like that
it is, yeah.
Yeah. That gets me excited,
Yeah, it is social selling. And so LinkedIn, I'm so glad you pointed that out earlier, because LinkedIn welcomes social selling. So that's it. Learn how to do it, and it gets done. But I want all of you to know that you can easily go from expert to influencer if you know how to tell stories. And so I'm going to go full screen here to give you some stats. Okay. Now, nano influencers have 500 to 10,000 followers. I don't know about you, but everybody I know has at least 500 followers to 10,000 followers, but we're experts. When we share something, most of the time, we don't have a whole bunch of people moving into action. So to go from expert to influencer, you just need to know how to engage your audience, share information in a way they respond to. That means you need to know how to decide on the content you're going to be sharing and how to share dynamic stories about the content, right? So Juanita, what do you think? Does pretty much everybody on LinkedIn have 500 to 10,000 followers?
I think that some people starting out need to work towards the 500, but I'm glad you mentioned it, because 500 is the magic mark. So for you to really be seen on LinkedIn, you do need to hit that first 500 followers to get out there. And then once you've done that, the beauty of LinkedIn, it's that platform that you don't have to have a lot of connections to make a lot of sales and leads. You don't have to. But obviously, the more you have, the better for you.
Absolutely. So now here's the other part. So if you have a goal, strategy, and action plan on how to engage and how to grow, the next step, basically, you go from nano influencer to micro influencer. They have 10,000 to 100,000 followers. So having what you call it GSA, the goal, strategy, action plan on how to go from expert to influencer. That means you go from expert to nano influencer, from nano influencer to micro influencer. And that's what I call a brand ambassador incubator, right? And of course, the next step, you go macro influencers, 100,000 to 1 million followers, and mega influencers, million, a million plus. But all we need to really focus on is just start where we are, go to at least 500, create engaging stories, and have great content, obviously, and just go from expert to influencer, nano influencer to micro. And I think it's doable. I know it's doable.
Absolutely. I think the beauty, though, is, if you're showing up on LinkedIn, you can become a brand ambassador, no matter if you're a nano influencer or a micro influencer. It's how you show up and what you do on the platform that is going to make the difference as to whether you really are seen as a brand ambassador. You know what, Anne, I do have to ask you this question. So can somebody be a brand ambassador for their own business? Like, can they do that?
Absolutely. We are our own brand ambassadors anyways. We really are. Think about it. We're representing our products and services. That's where we start. That's where we create. We're not called brand ambassadors. We're representing our own products. But yeah, you can, I'm my own brand ambassador, right? And so to me, that's where we learn how to talk about products. That's where we learn how to share stories about products and services, so we can make a big splash so other people want us to represent. So yes, we're our own brand ambassadors, but usually people don't call it that. But we know we are, right? It's our brand. Yeah.
I think what you've just said there is very powerful. And I want to say this to you because I think it's an epiphany. I think it's so powerful because if you switch your mindset and your thinking, and when this is my business and therefore I am a brand ambassador, how would you behave if you were a brand ambassador for another business? And then if you can switch that mindset to brand ambassador for your own business, I think you would behave and create content differently.
Yes. Actually, I love that distinction. So, I'm glad you brought that up. I have not stated it that way, but I think I'm going to do that from now on. That's it. What would you want others to say about your products and services, right? I love it. But here's the part where, all of you, I told you I'm going to tell you how to create a storyline, right? And this is the foundation. I mean, we've been talking about tell a story, tell a story. So I'm going to give you a secret sauce on how TEDx style stories are created. What every book, every program, every movie, there is a system. They all follow pretty much the same format. So I'm going to give you the clip notes. So again, we're talking about sharing stories, and something that people want to be engaged in, because we want to be engaged. We don't want to be bored. And once we engage people, they keep coming back. Engage people bring on more engaged people. Like-minded people bring like-minded people. So focus on it and be a great storyteller. You will keep growing. Okay, so here we go. What do all stories have in common? Well, the very first thing is every story, I don't care what it is, it has the hook. This is to grab people's attention. So when we opened, this segment here at the beginning, it was a soft hook. And I said, well, you've been hearing about it, LinkedIn, streaming videos and social audio. You've been hearing about it. It's the place to be. And, are you interested? Are you confused? Whatever. So that's really the hook, right? Grabbing people's attention. So right from the beginning, what it is basically telling them what it's about. And if you've been watching YouTube videos, they give you 3 seconds before you can switch or skip the ad, right? So those 3 seconds, whatever they say is the hook. It tells you what it's about. Either they grab your attention and you keep watching, or you skip the ad, right? And so those 3 seconds are really important. So you want to make sure you come up with a great hook. And while I'm not going to be telling you how to craft a hook today, I'm giving you a storyline on how to create it. Okay. And when we'll be doing more trainings and keep showing up, there's a lot of information. We'll tell you where and how all this is showing up. So just keep watching. And so the next thing is the body. The body is where you educate and gain trust. This is the body part, what you've been doing. You're watching us this entire time. This is us educating you and building trust in our knowledge. And what the combination of Juanita and I supporting you will do. The collaboration that happens, she has expertise, I have expertise, put the two of us together, we serve the same customer. So you're watching this happen. We're demonstrating everything we're teaching you. Are we gaining your trust? I hope so. I do hope so. Okay, so the next part is the call to action. You give a compelling reason for people to take the next indicated step. Oh, whatever that step may be. Maybe you want them to go and register for a free training. Like you came here to get the free training, right? In exchange for your name and email, you're getting all this fabulous content. Or maybe you want them to register for a program. Well, it could be short programs. It could be a full-on 6-8 week program, whatever it is. The call to action has to be something that's a reasonable request. Okay, reasonable request. And again, we'll be sharing more about this. The right call to action will bring you the results you're looking for. The wrong call to action is going to drive people away. So it's really important to know what is the next indicated step. Do they need to take 2 or 3 steps before the sale, or do you go straight to the sale? Reasonable request has to be applied. Okay, so with that, now I'm going to go into the actual, when you're crafting your story. So get your pens and papers out if you haven't been already taking those fabulous notes that Juanita was sharing with us, all that fabulous information. You should have some fabulous notes, right? But now we're going to turn to a new page, and I'm going to give you how to create the story. Every story Yeah, I'm going to go full screen here. Okay, every story, the setup. Before you write anything, you want to start with the setup. The very first thing is you want to identify the characters, okay? The main character, usually it's you. Okay, the main character is the problem solver. Who is that? Well, I'm guessing it's you. But then there are supporting characters. These are other people involved in the problem. They could be involved in the creation of the problem. They could be involved in the solution of the problem, but there are other people involved. And then the setting. You need to describe the surrounding environment in detail so we can literally see and feel ourselves in the situation, in that place, in that environment with you. So can you get really a lot more descriptive? You bet you can. And it's not that complicated. Like, for example, when I'm sharing my story about how a camel driver in Egypt taught me about marketing things that gurus could not teach me in a year. He taught me in 30 minutes. What could a camel driver in Egypt teach me about marketing? Well, when I usually stop that story and say, there I was, next to the big pyramid, and sitting on a camel. It was 103 degrees. The sand was glistening, and there were noises. Right? All of a sudden, when I said next to the Great Pyramid, you know what a pyramid looks like. You saw the pyramid in your mind's eye. But as I said sitting on a camel, you know what a camel looks like. You could picture me sitting on a camel, right? And the sun was glistening. It was 103 degrees. Oh, yo, that was hot. Oh, so you get it? You get it? Yes, you do. So where were you? What were you doing?
I love that. You know, I just have, when you said that the first time, I was like, it pulled me in. I was like, oh, wow, this is so intriguing. Yeah, very, very good, Dan.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, our stories, when we really go inward, picture where we were, what we were doing, it actually comes together. So be mindful. Was it a rainy day? Was it a sunny day? Was it hot? Was it cold? What are noises? Could you smell? What was the smells around you? Was it a bakery with yummy desserts? Or or maybe it was stinky. What was it, right? So remember all that. And so that's where you start. That's before you even start writing the story. So the next thing is the story itself. Here are the components of the story. So you start with the problem. What was the problem? And why did you decide to create this program or product? What was it? Why do you do what you do? And so if you look into it, is that there's always a reason. We shared with you why Juanita and I got together. That was the story behind this, because we support the same client and we wanted them to have success on LinkedIn, because we needed each other's support to excel in what we were doing. So that's a story of how Juanita and I got together. So there are several kinds of stories. So you want to have some very, very handy one. Why do you do what you do? That's one story. Why do you offer that product if you're selling somebody else's products? Why did you choose that particular product supplier? What was it about them? How did you discover that product? That's a story. What about services? Why did you create that program? Why did Juanita and I create this program? We've been telling you that story over and over again throughout this, because the combination of the two of us. I needed help with my LinkedIn, and Juanita came to the rescue. I went to All-Star, so I had to share Juanita's brilliance with you. That's the story of why we're doing what we're doing. So everything has a story, so you can go more dynamic. I could tell you how Juanita and I got together. I could tell you that I was in Clubhouse and I was interested in LinkedIn because I knew that's where I had to be. And there were some experts on stage that were sharing information about different aspects of LinkedIn. When I heard Juanita, I said, oh, she knows her stuff, but more importantly, I like the way she shares. I resonate with her. I want to learn from her. She's speaking my language, in a way that resonates with me. It's just like so many people can share the same story, but you like one person more than another because they're speaking your language of storytelling. So that's how Juanita and I got together, right? So now you see everything is a story. Are you more interested in Juanita because she was on stage with so many others and I chose her? I hope you are. So if you're ready, yeah, go ahead.
I would say I'm more interested in me now that you've shared that story. It comes back to what you were saying earlier. If you can tell the story of someone else better than they can tell it themselves, is really, you've just done that. Like you've just demonstrated that in a way of making me shine in a way that I could never do that. And I'm sitting here blushing a little bit, but I'm going, that's so cool. Anne's just literally shown you how to do it in that small little story about how we connected. So amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And so that right there, the thing that I want everybody to take away, I was totally authentic. I was just sharing the story, how excited I was to find a person who could help me with LinkedIn. I found my person. Yeah, there were others, but I found my person. And so that actually takes us to the next segment, right? So the next segment in the story is you want to actually share, okay, the solution. How did you find the solution? Describe the moment you found the solution. Now, I just did that, and you saw the effect on Juanita, and I hope you guys are much more excited about Juanita too, because now you see her from a different perspective, things that she couldn't say about herself. And finally, the results. What were the results that you got? What were the results others got from this process? Well, I already shared some of the results. I went from mediocre to all-star on LinkedIn. Well, the bigger result is I'm attracting better group of people because they understand me better now, because I'm found easier, right? So that's one result. But guess what's happening right now? You're here because you found us on LinkedIn, or you found us on social media, or somebody sent you to this page because of the combination of Juanita and I. And that's the result. We decided a combination of the two of us is going to be not only powerful and profitable for the two of us, but it's going to be powerful and profitable for the clients that Juanita and I serve individually, as well as together, whatever the choice is. So right now we're serving you at the same time, the two of us. Juanita has her clients, I have my clients. We'll be happily referring clients to each other, because if you resonate with me, you're going to resonate with Juanita. If you resonate with Juanita, you're going to resonate with me, because the combination of the two of us is dynamic, if I do say so myself.
I'd agree.
There you go. See, we got the seal of approval right here.
Like, but Anne, can I do want to just stop you and say, I mean, you've shone the light on me, and I love that, but subtly, and if I shine the light back on you, and I just hope that all of you are listening to Anne, and I'm not blowing her horn or tooting or anything like that. I'm saying that if you listen to her, she's actually demonstrating what she does in real time. That is so clever. It's so powerful. And I hope that you get that. And obviously I'm working with Anne. I've worked with Anne. She has taught me so. I've gone, from mediocre myself to more advanced, and I'm learning from her all the time. So I'm super excited as well to be part of this dynamic duo, if I can call it that. But she's in action, she's doing it, it's intelligent, it's so clever the way she does it.
Thank you so much. But again, I'm going to point out, it's about us being authentic. It's about sharing what we know. It's about sharing the stories we know. It's about sharing the truth. This is where the energy comes from, because you can go out there, you can tell somebody else's story, they can tell you what to say about them, but after they tell you what to say, what's special about them, then you ask questions and you discover who they are. And there is an art to that, right? And so that's one of the things you'll be learning, something about storytelling. We all want to know how to be a good storyteller, but we all love good storytellers. So this is something that you definitely want to master. So you are easily able to put together dynamic stories for your own products and services, as well as your collaborative partners. And that's going to attract the sponsors, because the more people you attract in your tribe, the more collaborative partners you have serving the same client, the more sponsors are going to be interested in you as a brand ambassador. And here's the other part, the metaverse is here. So we're also training people how to go from brand ambassadors here and now and in a metaverse. It's still the same thing. It's still sharing stories. So anyway, so we're going to move on. We've been here for quite some time, but now I want to share with you what kind of videos are working. And that means that you can choose what kind of videos to create, depending on where you are, depending on what you're doing and how you're doing it. So here we go. I'm going to share some different types of videos that wanted to share with you, all the different kinds of videos you can create. Now, I'm going to share with you what those videos can look like, how you can produce those videos, okay? So whether it's with a collaborative partner, whether it's, videos you're sharing yourself, I'm going to show you what different kinds of videos look like and how you can produce them. So one is obviously what we're doing, you can be on Zoom or you can be on different social media platforms with somebody else. So that's one. The next kind of video is just you hitting the record button and sharing your expertise, whether you're demonstrating a product, whether you're demonstrating a service, or the young lady is teaching how to create yummy, healthy foods, right? And so demonstrate, you are teaching. So just a training video. Next, interviews. And interviews don't have to be complicated. You don't really need studios. And I will tell you the example of this. This happens to be one of our reporters that we were in Los Angeles at one of the hotels where Yannick Silva was doing his training. He had his underground 3-day event going on. So I saw an opportunity. I was not going to miss that opportunity. So what did I do? In the lobby, I pulled 2 chairs together and I opened up my laptop to the Access to Experts logo. I grabbed the plant from the ladies' room and I set up my own. Look at this. Does it look like a talk show? You bet it does. So you don't need elaborate scenes and studios and things. You just need to be creative. And I'll show you how to set things up easily, right? And so the next thing is, we're all at live events. Live events, pretty much all of them, they have this is called a step and repeat. When you see the wall with the logos, it's basically, a stand with logos. And so you can interview people, you can be interviewed, right? And that happens to be, by the way, that's my daughter, Deanna, interviewing at a movie screening, right? So she grew up with us in the studio, mind you. But here's the most important thing for you guys. This is a phone, right? And most people use a phone. When they use the phone, they look like talking heads. Well, if you know how to frame it just right, it takes on a whole life of its own. You can see he's telling a story. There's something going on behind him. So what's different about this? It's the way it's framed. So it's not the tools that you have, it's how you use the tools. A hammer can push a nail down, or a hammer can break a glass. What do you want to do? Break a glass, push a nail? It's the same hammer. It depends on what you need. Maybe you need to break the glass. Maybe you need to push a nail. So knowing how to use it makes all the difference. So you guys now you know what kinds of videos to use. What do you think, Juanita? What about the videos?
I think that's absolutely amazing. Your daughter's gorgeous, by the way, but you had me intrigued, and because I know your story, but every time you say it, it really intrigues that, you know, you said your daughter grew up with you in the studio and things like that. There's a whole story behind that I know you'll share at some other point. And but fascinating with the videos. Videos are powerful. They're not going away.
They're part of our lives. They have been part of our lives for a long time, but now especially everything is global, everything is online, and we're connecting across the globe. You're in Australia, I'm in Los Angeles, you know, you're in Brisbane, Australia, I'm in Los Angeles, California, right? So we're global with global communities, and everything is global. So very, very important to know how to use videos in every aspect of our lives, whether we're talking with grandma or we're talking with our children. Everything is video, right? And especially with COVID, we were not able to really travel. There could be next house down the block, but we couldn't see each other because somebody had COVID or they're suspected. So we learned how to use video, but now using video strategically is the key. Okay, so now, as promised, I'm going to share with you the 100K Perpetual Funnel. What does it look like? How does it work? I'm going to share that with you right now, and then we're going to be able to tell you how you can actually use it, right? Okay, so here we go. Now, you start with the very first step is getting out there with videos. Whether you're doing live videos, you're just posting videos on social media, you're being interviewed on TV, it doesn't make a difference. You get out there in many different platforms, and you want to make sure it's multi-channel. So LinkedIn is one platform. There are many different platforms that you can go. Which one is your favorite? What's the right one for you? That's a whole another story, but know that you have to get out there and get in front of a lot of people, right? So the key is you want to make sure that you get 1,000 emails, right? So for example, right now we are sharing this information with you. We want 1,000 people to give us name and email to be able to watch this training. It's very valuable. Different aspects of it can be used. So that's what we're asking here, just 1,000 emails. It may take you a month, it may take you a year to get it. It doesn't matter. But basically people are getting free training. So you have a free membership, right? So the next step is once you have that, when you have the free membership, then you offer people something where they can actually network and collaborate together. And why is that important? Because when we are working together, we're able to get a lot more done. 92 to 94%, depends on the study, of people who sign up for an online program don't complete it. Why? Because they don't have the support. Maybe they have lack of knowledge in one particular area. Maybe, it could be technology, or maybe it could be writing, whatever it is. Or maybe they just have a lot going on. Maybe they need a collaborative partner, whatever it may be. So if you know your people and you create a membership site where they can collaborate, and it costs very little money, then they will come, they will support. The focus of it is how do they get results? That's the focus of it. How can I make sure my people get results? That's the question Juanita and I are asking. Well, how can we make sure you get what you need? Well, support, doing breakout rooms and things like that when you're online. So there's all kinds of ways, and we'll be sharing more about that, how that could happen and what would attract you, right? And so that's one. And so the whole thing is, maybe out of the 1,000, you get 100 people to actually sign up for a $19 a month membership. Well, then there should be some low cost offers, right? So, we call fast track programs. And so in this one, how to become an influencer on LinkedIn, we have fast track program, $197 for a full day program, reasonable. You get 2 experts, and you get results. Obviously, you look at the results that you're already getting. Well, at least you're getting a lot of knowledge, the results come. But I'm guessing you got some results right now because there was an aha moment or two, something that Juanita shared. You said, oh, I didn't know that. Result, because you can implement it right away. Maybe it was the way I shared with you about the storytelling. Result, right now you know how to tell a better story. Or maybe I just gave you the key to how to make $100,000, systematically. Result. So whenever you have a shift in your mindset, shift in your knowledge, that's already result because the implementation comes after. And if you do have support where you can collaborate with others, where you can get feedback on the content you've created, maybe your story, then you know it's going to happen, because what do they say? By ourselves, we can only do so much. Together we can do so much, something along those lines. So anyway, so with this too, and let me go finally, if we have 100 people paying $197, then that's $20,000 right there. Look at this. So we have served 200 people. We made 40,000. That's pretty cool, I think, especially if you're adding value. They're going to keep coming back. They're going to bring other people. But you also want to support them on the next level, right? And if the results are getting there, and if they are getting, if they are getting results, obviously they are. Between the two, when you say, you know what, I have a 4-week, 6-week, or 8-week, or 12-week program, it's going to cost $1,000, and you're going to be supported by all the same people. You're in the network. You're going to get results. Well, I'm guessing at least 60 out of the 200 will say, you know what, I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. I will invest, $1,000, especially if you make it easy for them to make payments. So if you look at this right here is $100,000. So if you want to make 200,000, you do the system twice, right? But finally, if you look at this as grooming and growing your ideal clients, so they're being supported, so they're getting results, then you can have the high-end programs. I don't know what is it that you want. A lot of you say, I want high-ticket programs. Well, you can have 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, whatever. Maybe you have 100,000 corporate clients, but even the corporate clients, they need to have a following. So as a brand ambassador, as an influencer, you want to build a following. You want to have a community where people get results. So if you follow what we're sharing, now, if 100 people get results, they're going to bring 100 more. Now, I don't want you to, miss this out. I'm going to put this up front here. Even if you just pay attention to the 197. If you just have 100 people, that's $20,000, right? Now, if you have 200 people, that's 40. 300 people, you get it. But here, let's take a look at the membership. If you set up a membership where people are getting fabulous results, right? Because they're collaborating, they're networking, they're interviewing each other, they're supporting each other, they're cross-promoting the lead magnets, they're interviewing each other, and they're sharing, on LinkedIn or and everywhere else, right? So if you build 1,000 members over a year, just with the $19 a month, that's $19,000 a month. So don't underestimate, but I want you to keep your focus on what we've been talking about. To be a brand ambassador, not only you need to have followers, but your followers need to move into action. And when you have a membership where people are getting results, when you're collaborating with them, when you're putting people together and everybody's getting exposure, everybody's getting results, that's when sponsors want you. That's when you are a brand ambassador. That's when you represent somebody, people say yes. You guys are getting this? I hope you are, because this is how it is. It's not complicated, but you have to do it.
That's powerful. That's powerful. That was so good. And for, even I think even if people came on here today, that's one thing in terms of value, because I really want to say that when I'm working with clients, the biggest issue that they have is they can create the most amazing content. They can get out there and comment, they can do whatever. But if they don't have a system behind them where it is supporting them to help them to make that money and grow, they don't have a business. So you just gave them a golden key on how to make money with the funnel that you've created.
And that's the beauty of the funnel that we're creating. It works beautifully on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's implementing exactly what you said. That's why I came to you. So what's the content? How do I create it? How often do I post it? Where do I post it? How do I reach out to the collaborative partners that I want to collaborate with, the potential partners, and co-op marketing partners and co-op production partners? There's all kinds of opportunities. Knowing how to reach out, knowing when to reach out, how often to reach out. These, this etiquette and all that. I needed help. I went to that's it. So
well, that's why the combination is so great, hey? Because you can't have one without the other one. You've got to have both. I mean, you can't sit with a beautiful system and, and have that, but you're not getting out there and you're not telling people about it and you're not creating content. You're not creating yourself as a thought leader and then a brand ambassador so that people can look at you differently and go, this is the difference between people paying. If you're a coach, this is the difference between people paying for your program, working with you, paying you $97 for something to $997 to $5,000. That's the difference.
And the beauty of it is that you can actually,
it's how you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, you just froze for a second, but so I thought you had finished. Yeah, the beauty of this is that you get to do all of it. You can support many people. There are a lot of people that can support the 1,000 people that could not afford, let's say, to pay you more than $19 a month, right? Or maybe 800 out of 1,000 could only pay you $19 a month, but you're still serving them. Look at this is free, and look at how much information we're giving you. So hopefully you're going to be implementing this. It has a ripple effect. So it works. It works. It's about impacting lives. It's about working together. But if you do implement the next level, what if you were to implement the funnel where you are getting those 1,000 members? What if you were to, even if you just had 100 of them and you had 100 people buying the program, that's $20,000 right there. If you spend a day with us, and we're going, let's say you decide to sign up for the $197 masterclass. We practice what we preach, and you know how to make $40,000 just from what we're suggesting. That's a great investment. That's how you build trust. That's how people keep coming back. If we share with you what we're sharing with you and you implement it, you make that 40,000 in, let's say, a month or two because you're doing what we said, would you be willing to invest 1,000 to take it to a whole different level? Yeah. That's how it works. That's how we've done it. And that's why we're sharing it with you. It's incremental learning and application. Yeah. So we're kind of coming towards the end here. So we do want to give you some do's and don'ts. I'm going to go full screen here. Okay, so define your strategic purpose on LinkedIn. You have to know where you're going before you get started so you reach your destination. Do share your why with TEDx style stories, and do have 100K perpetual funnel so you do make that $100,000. And so don't waste your time and money doing this on your own. It's much easier with collaborative partners. It's much easier when you're networking with other people. It's much easier to get the support, whether it's technology, maybe it's feedback, maybe it's sharing the links for your lead magnets, maybe it's just sharing posts, maybe it's contributing to each other's posts. Whatever it looks like, don't do it alone. This is social selling. Right? Social selling. So be social, and don't do all the videos at the same time. You will be overwhelmed. So choose one. I just shared with you 5 different kinds of videos. Maybe choose 2 or 3, and then decide how you want to produce those videos. I showed you 5 or 6 different kinds. So choose 2 or 3. What are you going to focus on? If you're going to just hit the record button and create the video, great. If you're going to walk down the street and shoot it with your camera, great. Just get started. Okay. And finally, don't be vanilla. As Juanita says, I love it. Okay. Lean into your authority branding code. Own it. You are unique. Your stories make you unique. Nobody else on the planet has a story as yours. Your unique experiences, of life and how you get to do what you do. Why do you do what you do? The challenges you have faced, the triumphs you've experienced, those are your unique stories. So while there might be other life coaches, let's say, right, that have gone through the same certification, their experience is different than yours. So even the system is the same, but your unique experiences are uniquely yours. So yeah, so definitely don't be vanilla. Share, share, share. So Juanita, coming over to you.
I am, excuse me, I'm going to share my full PowerPoint as well, Anne. Can you see that?
Yes, we can. And I think we can you can stretch it out a little bit more because it's not covering your entire thing. Go, if you go into,
yeah. Well, let me just do this for a second here. So
if you just go into your XSplit and just stretch it over the entire screen. But that's okay.
Let me do that. There we go. And see what we mean when we say we're learning all the time. That's what we're doing. We're learning. Okay. Well, it's not stretching at the moment, so I'm sure we can see it anyway. Yes. And so let's do this here. So the first thing is, what Anne was saying is so important. And when we do the full day workshop, these are some of the things that I'm going to be taking you through so that you really understand how to use LinkedIn for your game to become an influencer, to make impact and a difference. So I'm going to take you through your LinkedIn strategic purpose. So what's your short-term goals? What's your long-term goals on LinkedIn? What is your purpose? And how will LinkedIn help you to achieve these? That is so important. And then who are your connections? I also want to take you through building a personal brand on LinkedIn. So really understanding, because I spoke about brand collateral before, but building an actual personal brand is a very different thing. So I do want to talk a little bit about your brand voice, the 3 golden rules on LinkedIn, on your LinkedIn profile. It's called the golden 3. The importance of being seen with the right brand collateral. And then as a bonus, I'm going to send you a link to a video that will help you to set up your profile for impact. And you'll get a process flow checklist so that you can actually go through step by step and see what you're missing from your profile. And then I want to go through how to connect and engage with your target audience. Because look, knowing who and how, I know, and you cover the beautiful part about, your target audience and things like that. But in LinkedIn, there's a specific way that you can connect with them and engage with them. And by the way, it's not all about just searching. There are lots of ways that you can connect and engage. And so we'll look at titles and keywords. We'll look at ways that you can search for your audience. We'll look at what you really say when you connect, and it's not selling, definitely not. We'll look at how to build collaborations and influence people, and the common strategy to build connections and engagement. We'll definitely be looking at that. And then as a bonus, you'll get templates on how to message people when you're connecting with them. So there are 10 templates that I have, because a lot of the time people make the mistake when they message someone of pushing a sale onto them straight away. So I've got a whole lot of templates that I will give you that will help you when you leave the training to connect with people properly in a way that is not a push sell, but in a way that gets the conversation going and builds the relationship, because you want to build the relationships. And then in terms of video content to accelerate you as an influencer, I'm just going to go through how to choose the right types of video content that will work for your business. So, when Anne spoke and said, make a choice about what you want to do, we can go through that and really work out what will work for your business. How to write the content for posts that go with the videos, because just having a video and not having the right content on a post can also bomb your video and not be seen by people. And then I want to really talk about the importance of keywording videos when you upload them, keywording photos when you upload them. And there's a bonus because we'll actually work through the script for your introduction video on LinkedIn. So if because I'm going to tell you a secret. I mean, when I did my intro video, it took me a while to sit down and script it and go, I want to say this, but I don't want to be too salesy, and I want to do this, but I don't want to come across like that. So from trial, error, learning, and helping other people with their video, we will go through a little script to help you do your introduction video as well. And that is me. That's the little bit that I'm going to contribute on the day.
A little bit. That's a lot. I'm like, I want that, I want that, I want that. And by the way, you're going to see me implement what Juanita is teaching. You're going to be seeing Juanita implement what I'm teaching. So we're all doing this together. Really fun, because you know what? No matter where we are, we can always take it to the next level. LinkedIn is always ever evolving. Video is always ever evolving. So regardless of when you watch this, we're going to be constantly leveling up. We're constantly sharing and getting better and finding easier, better, faster way of getting things done and more strategically, right? And so, yeah, wherever you are, you watch us and go. So now I'm going to share with you what I'm going to be sharing. If you choose, and I don't know why you would not, choose to spend a day with us. We're so much fun and we have a blast, and you're going to have a blast with some amazing people. We'll be meeting on Zoom. It'll be a full day training, really, with breakout sessions. You're going to be able to go in rooms with different people, and everything that Juanita was sharing on how to create the content, what to say, script out your introduction video, right? Does this sound good? Well, what about the hook? How is this? What should I do? You get to have people give you feedback. So then you're going to be able to go out there with confidence and get results. So, and here's what we're looking for. If you go and share the stories the way I'm teaching you, and you share content the way Juanita is teaching you, you're going to get great results. And that means that we're going to want you in our magazine style TV show, because we want to interview you, right? So if you're in health and beauty, business growth and marketing, finance and investments, relationships and communication, empowerment and spirituality, we want you. And guess what? I know you're in one of those, because everything we have, every expertise we have, falls under one of those categories. So we're looking for you. So how am I going to make sure that you show up dynamic on camera? Well, it's the other part where get you really excited. So as you share your content, show us reporting, it goes actually in our library. And from our library, it's distributed to social media. So you're going to have access to people who are distributing. You're going to have great content you can share not only on your LinkedIn and everywhere else. So this go from expert to brand ambassador on LinkedIn, it's fast track, 1 day intensive, right? And so here's again what we're going to be focusing on is in here your brand building system. How are you going to go from expert to influencer to brand ambassador? Your online training system. I'm going to be sharing with you information on that, and I'll tell you a bit about it right now. And of course, the marketing and sales system, which we've already shared quite a bit. So to build your unique influencer code, we're going to be looking at 3 different categories. One, we're going to be looking at your work experiences. Know what stories to choose from your successes as well as your learning opportunities, from life experiences, from your successes as well as learning opportunities, because your unique influencer code is a combination of those 2, and also your natural gifts. And your natural gifts, it's what fuels you. You see me all fired up, right? All this energy. Why do I love doing this? Because I know what my natural gift is that's in sync with what I'm teaching. When you identify your natural gift, that's the foundation of why you do what you do. You're going to stay fired up. You're going to stay fired up, and people are going to love it because you're in your element. So knowing what that is, is the key. And you're going to know what that is because I'm going to walk you through it. So you get to choose which one of your natural gifts are you going to be using as your secret sauce, that fuel that gets you that fire in the belly, right? Oh, I love it. Okay, so here we go. And the next thing you're going to know, I'm going to be sharing with you on creating your online program. I'm going to be sharing with you what the 4 pillars are. There's always the preparation stage, implementation, results, and impact. This is why people come to you. The results is why people come to me. Like in mine, they come to me to make money, right? So I have to make sure I show how to make money. Well, they might come to you to be healthy. You have to show them how to get the result they're looking for. So no matter what you're teaching, you have to make sure the results and impact. And there is a reason to gather your information like this. If any one of this is not there, you're not going to hit the mark. The program is not going to give people not only the results they're looking for, but the impact on their lives, which is why people want to come to you in the first place. They want to have a better life. But what is that? How are you going to make sure they get it? Well, you can, regardless of what your expertise is. Excited? I hope you are, because it's really important, you guys. All right. So then the other thing I'm going to be sharing with you is obviously the 100K funnel. And what does it look like? How do you put it together? You're going to go through it, understanding how to apply the 80-20 rule. So you're never discouraged because you know exactly how it works, how it's going to happen. And of course, you're going to have a plan for how you're going to be your own ambassador for your own company, what stories you're going to show, what you're going to do. And, how can you be the brand ambassador of a co-op marketing partners? But most importantly, as you grow, sponsors, affiliates, and JVs, what kind of sponsors do you get? Well, there are all kinds of sponsorship opportunities. There could be show sponsor, there could be product demonstrations, there could be product placement, and all of these have different purposes and different ways of getting to it. But even before you get paid sponsors, if you're creating videos, you can have in-kind sponsorship. In-kind sponsorship basically is they give you the products and services for you to try, comment, and all that. And there is a caveat here that we want to share with you. But in-kind sponsorship, so you could get your wardrobe, right? You can get your wardrobe, jewelry, makeup, perfume, transportation, air, car, limos, hotel accommodations, studio equipment, your production team, everything that you have, products and services for whatever industry you're in, then you can get those products and services. So I'm going to turn it over to Juanita because we want to make sure that you are always protected. So Juanita, I'm going to ask you to share about in-kind sponsorship.
Yeah, and thank you for that. And the only caveat to that, and I would strongly recommend that if you are taking on all these sponsorships, even now, if you are, is to make sure that you check with your accountant, because you are still taxed on everything that you get in-kind sponsorship for. So if you're getting free tickets to, free airline tickets, you're still taxed on that. That means the taxman actually, puts a tax on it, which means that at the end of the year, depending on how your books are done and everything else, even though you got a free thing, you could end up paying tax for it. So you could end up out of pocket a little bit. And that's something that you might want to, as I said, check with your accountant first, and then go back to the company and make sure that they are covering that as well, because you definitely don't want to be out of pocket when you do in-kind sponsorships.
Yep, absolutely. So glad you had pointed that out. And I know that we can get really excited. Maybe we can get airline tickets. Maybe they add up to $10,000 or $50,000. When the tax on $50,000 adds up, you want to make sure the money is sitting in a bank to pay it, right? So very, very important. Okay. So you guys, this is what we're talking about. all that Juanita shared, all that I shared, and what's going to be available. We're actually holding a one-day intensive. It's interactive. It will be, but in span of 8 hours, Juanita is going to be sharing her segments. I'm going to be sharing my segments. You're going to have breakout rooms. We're going to have laser coaching. The experience is going to be like you're at a live event, interacting. It will be almost like, the laser coaching is sort of like the hot seats that you see on stages when you're at a live event. The breakout rooms are like when you're in breakout sessions, when you're working, in 2s, 3s, or 4s, exercises. You're going to be experiencing everything. You're going to be able to share information. You're going to get feedback on how you're sharing, what you're saying. And you're going to get feedback on the collaborative partners and how you want to approach them and what you want to say. When you reach out and, hey, let's do an event together. Or, somebody will say, well, that wasn't so good. Or Juanita has the templates that she's going to give you. And if we're really, really nice to her, she may give 1 or 2 during the event, and the rest of them she'll send to you after the event, right? So, so this is an amazing opportunity for you. And what we're doing, we're preaching what we practice, or practicing what we preach, I should say, right? And this is our $197 one-day intensive. The funnel we were talking about, we're doing it. So we would love for you to join us. We would love for you to put all this in practice, and we would expect you to succeed. We would expect you to share. We would expect you to collaborate and get those clients and into your programs. When you know how to create a program, when you know how to share stories, you're going to have all this happening. And that means that we're going to elevate our influencer and brand ambassador status by working together. This is it. We're demonstrating how this works. So for a minimal investment, you're going to get maximum impact, and you become part of a collaborative network where if you create content the way we're asking you to, you're going to be contributing content to our TV shows. So basically, we're training you to be in our production. So instead of production costing us tens of thousands of dollars, it's going to cost us very little to market, because we're going to be marketing with you, because you're going to be sharing information on your social media. That's going to give a lot of exposure to you, but as well as how we're doing what we're doing. So as you see, by giving, we all get. By giving, we all produce amazing content that grows our businesses. We produce amazing shows that impacts millions of lives. So are you in? I hope you are. And so with that, I'm going to leave it there. So take the link below. Do join us. And we'd love to have you. We'd love to play together. We'd love to grow together. We'd love to skyrocket our businesses together. So join us. Juanita, coming to you.
Oh, and you know what? For everything that we're giving in a one-day session, for that amount of money, and for what you were saying, what it actually costs in terms of, if people really want to learn all of this stuff, if they're out there, they'll know. If you're a coach, or you're a trainer, or you're a mentor, or you're a brand ambassador, whatever you are now, it doesn't matter. If you know what people are offering and what you are getting here, I would definitely be clicking the link and come and join us. You will learn a lot, and you will be able to implement. That's the big, but take action, implement.
That's it. Take action, implement. You'll have the support that you need to collaborate with others. And this is a global community. It's a global community. So wherever you are, you want to go global with your business, this is how you do it. Okay, so with that, Juanita, thank you so much for sharing this space and your knowledge with me, because I'm really excited about this program. I'm so excited about the impact it's having on me, your knowledge that I'm implementing to show up bigger and better on LinkedIn. And I'm excited about the collaboration, which is going to do for all the people that are going to be joining us.
I'm excited too, and I really, honestly, if I say to you and to everyone, I love how you demonstrate by doing. You are such an amazing, you just live it, you do it, you breathe it. it's incredible to watch you. So thank you. And I'm looking forward to the collaboration as well. I've learned so much from you too. And I'm saying that to everyone because honestly, I really have, and I'm still learning. So thank you, Anne.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Do take the link below and join us. And we'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you. There you go. We'll be seeing you everywhere we go across the globe.
Thanks, everyone.